Let's talk about Halo Season 2, Episode 7, Thermopylae.
Halo. I thought this episode was trash. I did not like it. Where's Pillar of Autumn? What's up with this portal star thing that Quan opens up? I don't even care. That's not a spoiler. It's just dumb. This is dumb. This is a dumb, like, for an episode that's trying to build up to finale, it was horrible. No intensity. The only thing I liked about this episode is I did like Ackerson. I liked him a little bit in this episode. I thought he was interesting. And MasterChief finally kind of getting his suit back. It wasn't good. 4 out of 10, below average episode for me.
Okay, I gave this one. I thought this one was kind of similar to the last one, but it seemed kind of unbalanced and weird with the writing. I gave it a 5, just completely average, which for an episode before the season finale, I can totally see why you gave it below average, because it should be building up to something that gets me more excited. But there were some parts of this episode that just meandered to a crazy degree where I have no idea what they're doing with it or why it's even a thing in this show. It seems to be...
Quan stuff was garbage. Was like, just tell me right now, did you like the whole star system? It's not this, it's that.
I did not care about that. Yeah, I don't know why she's important in that.
I was getting pissed. I swear, I thought it was going to open up a portal to Halo.
I kind of thought that too, yeah.
And I would have turned off the show, dude. I was actually kind of hoping it was so I could rant about it.
Oh, that's funny.
I see what they're setting up with that storyline, though, which we can talk about in spoilers.
Yeah, they are setting up some things. We'll get to it into the spoilers. I want to like the show, but what they're building up to in the finale, I'm getting worried. I don't know. It seems to be going further and further from actually being Halo. I'm worried about what they're going to do with the Halo parts. I did like Ackerson. I did like a few other things in this episode, which is why it balances out to just average, but there's some really silly stuff in this episode.
Yeah. We need to get into spoilers.
Yes, let's get into spoilers. So, spoiler alert for Halo, Season 2, Episode 7, Thermopylae.
Wait, first and foremost, so what, no Pillar of Autumn, or is it randomly going to pop up in the last episode?
I have a feeling there's just not going to be a Pillar of Autumn. Or maybe Miranda will get on a ship and they call it the Pillar of Autumn. It may not look like it, but we'll have a Keyes piloting Pillar of Autumn. I don't know.
And they're like trying to set up intensity, but obviously John is going to go help them, isn't he?
Yeah.
Because they kind of show it to where he's like, you could like kind of pick, am I going to just go to the Halo ring or am I going to go help them? Well, if you're showing us that right now, you're obviously going to go and help them.
Yeah.
It's dumb. I'm not excited for the finale, and it's so disappointing because we saw the Halo ring for a split second.
Yeah, we did. Which was cool to see in live action. There. But yeah, in a weird situation that doesn't feel like Halo.
Anyways, what bad things were you thinking of?
Okay, the craziest thing to me in this episode was not even the Quan thing. It's the Soren parts. Why were there Soren parts in this? We cut to him for like 2 seconds 3 times or something like that. They're setting up this cool Halo part, or what should be a cool Halo part, and we cut to Soren. He's talking to his wife. Cut away. Cut back. He's telling him about his backstory. Cut away. Cut back. And then he's fighting, and then he just loses his wife and son, and we're back to square one. Like, it just didn't feel necessary.
Oh god, then they're gonna have to continue that next season if there's a season 3, dude.
Yeah.
Not only does he have to find his son, he needs to find his wife. God.
I don't know why that had to be in this episode. Why do we even care about it? I don't know. That just seemed weird.
Season? Just have Soren be with the chief, or I don't know, have him be like the Sergeant Johnson or something. I don't know.
Those parts were the parts where I'm like, why is this here? Why is it so? If you're gonna show us it, why are you showing us it in 2-second clips? And they're just in this smoky room. It's not interesting to look at. It's not an interesting story in this storyline. Like,
my question to you too is it odd? So like all this intense stuff is happening, like, the Covenant is coming, this is coming, the Halo ring, and they're still like doing these trials with these kids, and people are like acting like nothing's going on the ship. It feels empty. Is that odd to you? Are they hiding it from everybody? I'm confused by that.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like with the kids, I feel like what they're doing is these Spartan 3s that they've created for this mission for Parangoski to basically throw their lives away is like a stopgap in the Spartan program. They're calling them Spartan 3s, but they're actually making the real Spartan 3s with the kids and training them up better. And like basically these Spartans are like just emergency, let's throw them at them, see if we can do some damage, and then they're actually making real Spartan 3s with the kids. That's my theory, but I don't know. It's weird.
You know what I'm saying? Like the base or the ship, wherever they're feels so like they're talking about like the Covenant gets the Halo ring, it's the end of the universe, and like I feel no intensity. The base feels empty. They're still doing like some kid trials, right, for the new Spartans or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they're still just lollygagging around.
Yeah, I don't get like it seems like Master Chief's fine to just run around and get his armor and nobody's stopping him, even though it was like last episode he was a prisoner and rogue. It's such a weird tone.
Opening and locking doors, but like, come on. It's just rash. And then Kai, I need to go with... it's like, okay, you know what? That makes sense. Have Kai go with the fake Spartan 3s, and then that will make Chief, he'll go to the Halo alone with Cortana. That makes sense.
I agree.
But like now, I feel like he's having like a second guessing, like, oh, I should go help them. And also with Mako is her name, right?
McKee.
McKee Mako. Oh,
Mako's Korra.
Mako, Chacho, I don't care. Oh yeah, I've been watching too much Korra. Her story needs to end next episode before Chief gets on the ring, because
I don't think
I'm telling
will.
you this now. I know you're right, but if her story doesn't end, and like if she's on Halo with the Chief, or like they still have a connection when he's on Halo on the ring, that's it, man. That's dumb. That's not right. That's not Halo.
Yeah, I feel like that's what we're heading towards.
No, don't say that.
Well, especially now that she's like an arbiter now, or whatever she did with the branding herself. That's
true. They're building her character too much.
Yeah.
If there's a season 3, we'll see. Maybe she won't be on Halo Chief, and she'll just be out and about with the arbiter doing stuff.
Yeah, maybe.
But I don't want that though. I just want Chief on Halo. Don't show me these other stories. We're not getting that. You're right.
One thing before,
so
with the McKee scene, I thought the philosophical talk was kind of interesting about the differences between McKee and John. Whatever, it was fine, but just a small nitpick from the last episode to this episode. Last episode, Master Chief was like a bloody pulp of a mess, and then this episode he looked totally fine. It's just not consistent.
That's a good way to say it. I feel like there's like different people writing every episode, and it's just like
there could have been a scene while they were talking of him like washing himself off in the water, and then it would have made sense, I guess. But
you just want some Master Cheeks, don't you?
No, not like that. Just wash his face. That's it. That's all I said. I take it back.
How many times have we said that though? Like they could have just written one scene where it would make a scene better
or make more sense.
You've said that so many times where like they just needed to add something or have a line, and then we wouldn't be complaining about something. If they do a season 3, like it needs to drastically change, because I think people are already bagging on this, but I think people are falling off hard, depending on how this finale does.
I'm worried about the finale, because what they're setting up, the whole like the spike being a bomb to blow up the whole system, seems like they're changing Pillar of Autumn to that, and that's how the way Halo's going to be blown up. So I'm kind of worried that they're going to rush through the Halo part and finish it this season.
Don't say that.
I feel like we need a whole season of him on Halo doing stuff. I'm worried about that. If that happens, I will not be happy. And
they can't do that. They can't do that.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. It just seems like they're escalating it and rushing it, and I don't know. If that
happens, that's where I drop off, because that's you need to have a whole season keep on Halo. I mean, you have the books, you have the Halo Combat Evolved. I'm not saying follow it directly, but like, come on. One episode, Caleb. If that happens,
I hope not. I'm sorry for putting that energy out into the world, but it's just, I could see after season 1, I don't doubt it. That's the problem.
I mean, you're right. I'm telling you this now, and I'll stand by my words, you as my witness. If, they blow up the Halo ring, whatever, it ends in the next episode, I will give that episode a 1 out of 10. Doesn't matter about anything else.
Okay, so let's talk about the Quan stuff, because there is something in there that I think also kind of sets up that the Halo might not be as important for some things, so they could blow it up. So Quan, Miranda, and Halsey are in that weird well thing, looking at that ring, and then Quan suddenly knows. Like, they get the like hologram thing up and it's stars, and then Quan knows, oh, we need to move the stars, whatever, blah blah. Annoying.
How do you know? It's like my dreams. Shut up.
That, I just feel like, I guess they kind of set up that she has something to do with the Forerunners, but it doesn't feel earned. It just doesn't feel earned.
And it's dumb. The whole star. Oh, you just need to go here, and just solar. It's the solar system. Stars chain. Like, really? Come on, this is.
And you have
Sorry,
like two of the smartest people in the UNSC, Miranda and Halsey, and Kwan's the one figuring it out. It just seems
Kwan
really...
is the savior. Savior Kwan. She helped save Masterchief and them on Reach. Now she's helping Halsey, and you know, it's like Kwan hardly has any lines this season.
Yeah, because everything she says is annoying.
Like, she's just like looking like in the background, like,
yeah, I know.
Anyway, she opens that stupid door, and then what?
So they go in.
That was gonna be a portal.
Yeah, I thought it was a portal at one point too.
I thought that was the way they were going to get to Halo. I'm like, no way.
For some positives, well, I'll say some of my positives of this part. I thought the Forerunner stuff and the light bridge looked really good.
That was cool seeing. I agree.
Yeah, I loved seeing that. So they go in, they find this whole Forerunner underground city, whatever it is. Then they get into a lab. And I was not expecting them to find a dead Forerunner in the lab. That was a little weird. So they find that Forerunner, they get that weird, I don't know, it's holding something and they take it. And then for some reason, the whole thing starts to shake. There's an earthquake at the worst possible time, I guess. They don't really explain why. And so they leave.
Unless it's Forerunner defense or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. But they didn't say that. So my theory for that is a thing where they studied the flood, and whatever whatever was in her hand has some spores or something, maybe, because at one point Miranda opens it in a sealed compartment or whatever, and I'm thinking maybe that released some flood spores. So that makes me think that the Halo thing might not have to do with the flood being released, and they do it on Onyx.
And Miranda.
Yeah, and then Miranda would be the one who takes
instead
her,
of Keys.
Yeah, her dad's spot. Yep. And so then that's the flood and not Halo, or both, maybe. I don't know.
Or that would suck. But maybe it was just a base or a laboratory they found that contained it, and it's nothing more. They're just going to learn about the flood, and when Master Chief gets there, then like Miranda will know, like, oh, Chief, that's the flood. I've been studying this.
Possibly,
I don't know.
yeah.
Maybe I'm just being too hopeful.
I hope for that too, but we'll see.
If that's the case, then you're right. Then the Halo ring will be completely
totally different. Then then are they just going to make it that it actually is a weapon and not something to keep the flood from taking over the entire galaxy? I don't know, or universe.
I hope not. I don't know. That's a good question. Just give me Chief on it's. We're not asking a lot, Caleb. We're not. Are we? That's not too much. Just give me Cortana on the ring and throw in the Covenant, and then have a couple scary episodes of the Flood, and that I'll be happy. Happy enough.
Happy enough. Yeah.
But instead, we're gonna get Chief on a ring, unless, like you said, unless it's over the next episode. But let's say it's not, and Chief is actually on the ring all season 3. We're gonna get half of the screen time with McKee or whatever her name is, with doing her stuff, and then we're gonna have Juan doing our Forerunner crap, and then we're gonna have Soren and finding his family. Oh Lord.
I think Perez is going to make it, and Kai might have to sacrifice herself to save Perez or something, and then Perez might get to the Halo ring. I just have a feeling Perez isn't going to die yet. I feel like she's connected to the Chief somehow.
I would like that. Look, have a Marine go. It would be a little different, right? Because the Marines died on the way down, which I actually saw a funny fact that's, you know why they did that?
Why?
Do you remember in Halo Combat Evolved when you crash onto the ring, like the Marines are dead already from the crash? Originally they weren't supposed to be dead, but they couldn't get the coding right to have the Marines be able to walk across that bridge. They're like, screw this. And so originally the Marines are supposed to stay alive with you for a little bit.
Gotcha. Oh, that's interesting. Nice little tidbit.
Yeah, I just saw that on a YouTube short the other day. But anyway, so like Perez, I wouldn't mind Perez, even although maybe they don't even have her land with Chief, and there's separate storylines and they meet up eventually. I don't know. We're probably wrong, because know we're just two idiots talking. But we could probably write a better show than these idiots.
I'm waiting till the last episode to see how much they screw up to be that harsh. But
just wait to see how much they screw up. Yeah, not if they will.
This all could be totally warranted. I understand. Yeah.
We're not waiting to see what if they screw up. It's just how much. A little bit. A lot. Well, I'll give it I'm not giving it benefit of the doubt, but I'll stop ranting. But I'm telling you, man, this finale is bad. Like I'm going.
Scorched earth.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a rant. This is gonna be a worse rant than Loki.
Okay,
'Cause Loki, at least
I'll prepare
Loki
myself.
I didn't like, but my lord, at least it doesn't spit in your face like this show does.
And at least this ended solidly. We'll see how this one does.
Loki's like a 10 out of 10 compared to these last couple episodes. In the first season of Halo at that.
Okay, so I do want to say a few other things that I liked about this episode, because I think there were some good parts. And yeah, you did call it out. Ackerson was really good this episode. And I think even Parangoski, despite the fact that her plan is weird and totally different from Halo, she's still an interesting character because she is like cold-blooded throwing these Spartan threes at them.
Her, but you're supposed to.
Yeah, and I thought it was really interesting how much, like I thought Ackerson was cold-blooded too for how he handled Reach, but him seeing how much worse Parangoski was and it giving him an existential crisis was a really interesting thing to see. And then his scenes with Chief were also really good, where my favorite line of this episode was Kai was like, "We need his face to get into the room," and then Chief just like slowly turns and he's like on him. Just seeing Ackerson react to that was really funny. But yeah, I liked
think Ackerson was even less cold-blooded than Halsey.
Yeah, he definitely has more of a conscience, it seems like, which we see in this episode.
I almost think Halsey is worse than Parangoski. I think Halsey like is worse in the sense of truly both thing. It's her science over anything, over her own daughter.
Yeah, it's like
the first thing,
big picture.
First
only.
thing she asked, "Did you get it?" Like, not "You're okay." Remember when they ran across the bridge and she's like, "Did you get it?"
Please tell me you got it. Yeah.
I think Halsey is the most cold-blooded in the sense of like kind of like insane.
Yeah, she is. I mean, she did abduct kids and then replace them with people who would die. Like, she's always been kind of messed up like that, so that does make sense.
Right. Ackerson floats the line because I feel like he truly does have a conscience. Now, maybe with the Spartan 3s, it is more of his life work he cares about, but I do think he has. I mean, they showed that the scenes with his father and even saying how he doesn't want this, but he's just doing what has to be done. So I feel like he's more interesting character.
I agree. I've liked his character this entire season.
What other positives? Ackerson, the flood stuff can be interesting depending where they go with it.
That's true. We got to see the priest elite again, and then he got killed.
Yeah, oh, that's right.
Interesting. But then it was kind of ruined. I still don't get McKee branding herself with the Arbiter symbol, and then the Arbiter being like, okay, we're bonded to each other. Like, what does that mean? That's not really...
Oh, such a flip from... Yeah, I don't know. And it wasn't earned. Like, from last episode to this episode, the same fight was happening almost. So why all of a sudden? I don't know. And you know what else? This is just a nitpick, but not really. How has there not been a single grunt in this whole season?
Oh, true. What? Yeah.
We have not seen one grunt.
Yeah, we've just seen Jackals, A Brute, and Elites.
No grunts, dude. We have not seen any hilarious grunts. They could have been like the funny, the lighthearted part of the show.
Weird. I didn't even notice that, but you're right.
Like, could you imagine grunts like with Chief? How hilarious it would be in live action.
I mean, it's funny in the game. Yeah, I'd love to see that.
Yeah, but no, there's no grunts in the show. I thought, or was there in season 1?
I'm trying to remember. I think there might have been in some of the big battles, but we didn't get any of their like funny one-liners that I can remember.
Yeah, can you believe that? No grunts in this whole season. Let alone in the show for the most part.
Weird.
Like, I was thinking about that the other day. Like, it would have been funny to have like those little lighthearted moments of Chief just like, taking down these grunts. I don't know.
And them screaming like demon.
Yeah, but no, we got nothing. No grunts. Anywho, we'll see. The finale is what days is it? Thursday.
I agree with you that the next episode will make or break the season, and possibly I don't know if it'll make it's just a possibility to break the season or possibly the show overall.
Basically, it's either going to be a 5 out of 10 or a 2 out of 10 or a 6 out of 10 maybe if it's like a oh my god finale. The first half of the season I didn't mind. Episodes 1, 2, and 3, and then obviously the Fall of Reach episode. The Fall of Reach episode was amazing.
Yeah, since that episode though, it's been going down.
It's been downhill. Well, it's been a descent to hell. Yeah, the first few episodes were decent. Like, were really decent, and then the Reach, like, I'm telling you, 3 weeks ago after the Reach episode, I'm like, my god, wow, the first few episodes were average. This episode was amazing. God, relative to the first season, this is great. I don't think it's not as low as the first season still. It's not.
Hopefully it doesn't get to it.
But we are getting to the point where even if it isn't as low as the first season, if they start changing too big of things, like the ring, then it doesn't matter how much better quality it is. You can only deviate so much.
Yeah.
You can't mess up the ring, and they are going to, like you said.
We'll see.
Anyways, we'll see in a few days. So hopefully next week we're talking positive about it.
I hope so. We'll see.
All right, that's all I got.
Yeah, well, we'll talk to you next week, and we'll see if this show's worth watching still.